With the killing of the second in command of ISIS just during the weekend, many Nigerians are already clamoring for more to be done, especially as it concerns international cooperation when it's all about security. But with the adoption of almost 100 students, many Nigerians are also wary to wonder what will be as it concerns insecurity in the coming months ahead. Well, while we ponder on that, I want to quickly welcome you to another great time on television. You do know it's Atlantic TV. You also do know it's Viewpoint. And as always, my name remains Michael Gobardia. It's not only interesting for me to say it's another beautiful new day and an awesome new week, but also to inform you that being with us every time, all through the weekdays, will make it interesting because we bring what you truly need to be informed, entertained, and indeed abreast with what is happening in the country. Like I said, it's Viewpoint. Once again, welcome. But anyway, I still need to welcome my colleague. She's right here with me on a beautiful Monday. Patience Monday is right here. Good morning, Patience Monday. How was your weekend? And I hope all that transpired during the weekend did not affect you in any way.
No, it did not, but a beautiful morning it is this Monday morning.
Yes, it is a beautiful morning.
Good morning and welcome to Viewpoint here on Atlantic TV. As you know, on Viewpoint, we begin with the dailies, then the dialogue they send to stage, and the news come around. Do you want to connect with us on all our social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV? We'll go on this quick break. When we return, the dailies will be next.
Atlantic TV.
Alright, my name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst, one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright guys, back again, yes boss, my name is Osh Baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up people, it's your boy Victor Adi.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, and just celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere or I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Well, yes, it's now time for us to go straight to the dailies and see what really transpired during the weekend as we walk ourselves into an awesome new week. And for review today, we have 7 papers. We have The Punch, The Guardian, definitely The Vanguard this year, as much as The Daily Sun, Daily Trust, The Nigerian Tribune, and The Nation. But you do know, I always enjoy starting with The Punch, and let's see what The Punch has as a major one on its front page. And on The Punch this morning, quite sad. The Senate Yoruba leaders demand action as distress video emerge, and we're still talking about the Oyo school attack. Remember, it also happened in Borno State. Adopted principal, hostages plead for freedom as police probe viral footage. Afenifere wants Yoruba land under siege as Alafin Yoruba Obas Council orders condemn adoption. Senate moved to expedite state police after kidnappers hold on to 87 teachers, students in Oyo and Borno. And I'll just tell you to read up that story up on page 9. But remember, I'll be looking at the security situation in the country later on Dialogue. Let's see if we take some other major one. Oil years $110. Trump threatens strike on Iran. We also learned he called Benjamin Netanyahu just some few hours ago. Well, let's see what comes out. But page 33 has that story. 63% of Nigerians want interest rate reduced, says CBN survey on page 34. Primaries, APC reps fight back after ticket losses. As 26-7 lawmakers crash out, House leader orders reject exercise, threatening lawsuit. But I'll tell you to suit up that story up on page 2. Let's see if we take some other leading stories still on the front page of the Punch this morning. Still have a lot to do. OT, Labour Party rejects Abure's 2027 nomination form sales. Is a major screamer on page 45. Dangote raises Ethiopia investment to about $4 billion United States dollars. Is also on page 34. Nigerian tightens surveillance on Ebola as kills 90 in Congo. And we also know Rwanda is also taking strong measures as the outrage continues in Uganda and Democratic Republic of Congo. But I'll tell you to read up that story up on page 8. Hoodlum rain Lagos sexagenarian to death is a disturbing story on page 4 and 5. And federal government cracks down on approved contract verification in ministry, department, and agencies. And that story is up on page 33. But the picture of the day is that of the ambassador of Italy to Nigeria pays courtesy visit to Polo. And you can see him all smiles with the group managing director of Polo right there at the major headquarters aim at boosting trade relations between Polo and Italy, luxury and fashion industry in Lagos. Well, anyway, that happened just yesterday. That's much you can take from the Punch.
Let's check out stories making rounds on the Guardian newspaper this morning. And on the Guardian, the leading story reads, Tinubu faces 2027 pushback as opposition targets strongholds as a major one on page 6. And Afenifere alerts on rising terror attacks in Southwest tax governors. There's a major one on page 3. Primaries, 7 Benue reps majority leader Farouk Lawan lost tickets. You can get up that story on page 3. And still on page 3, fiscal year defined by law, not calendar, says Budget Office. Lots of can take more of the leading stories still on the front page. Oruwa Serap sick prop of the vetted 34.53 trillion naira, 800 billion naira FAC allocation. There's a screamer on page 5. Assyrians behead 3 women in Enugu communities. It's quite a disturbing one on page 12. Anxiety over energy security. Interest as downstream set to face stress test is a major one on page 6. World Health Organization declares emergency over Ebola outbreak as NCDC intensifies surveillance. You can get up that story on page 5. Military says no U.S. troops joined ground operation against ISIS leader. Well, it's a screamer on page 9. Africa has self-sufficiency, food export capacity, Dangote insists. Well, you can get more of that on page 2. And the picture of the day is that of the inspection of the fertilizer plant under construction in Gode, Ethiopia over the weekend. And as you can see, the president of Dangote Group and the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed, are present there. Well, that is much you can take on The Guardian this morning.
Let's quickly run to The Nation to see what The Nation has for us as a screamer on its front page. And on The Nation this morning, the leading story reads, governors, heavyweights gone for APC Senate tickets and riders to follow. Big battle. Delta is already rambling. But anyway, that's the much we can take from The Nation newspaper.
State Imo West remain contentious as APC holds Senate primaries today. And the riders to follow, senators plot return tickets down near campaign organization direct supporters to boycott Ogun East primary. Controversies hit reps primaries as more candidates emerge. Or you can get more of that on page 22. Still on the front page, World Health Organization declares emergency as Ebola outbreak kills over 80 in Democratic Republic of Congo. It's quite disturbing one on page 26. Nigeria not in debt crisis, but doesn't have to borrow. Well, I didn't say that, but experts say so, and highlight other options. Well, it's a major one on page 6. NLC pushes for fresh wage review as 70,000 naira implementation crisis worsen. Accuses 70 states, FCT, of non-implementation of current minimum wage. Well, you can get more of that on page 3. Lots of can get more of the leading stories on the front page. 8-time lending freeze persists despite court orders affect 40 million Nigerians. Well, I wouldn't want to mention names, but...
Well, anyway, some names are there, but we'll not mention names like you said.
Of course, and you can get up that on page 5. Maybe you can see somebody's name there, I don't know. Well, Saudi authorities declare May 26th, Arafat May 27th, Eid al-Adha. That is a major one on page 3. Bank of Industry secures $200 million financing facility from AFDB Group to aid Nigeria's industrial transformation. There is a major one on page 6. Abducted Oyo school principal teacher in videos appeal for rescue of students and teachers and riders to follow. Police subject viral videos to forest scene analysis. Yoruba land now on the siege. Afenifere raises alarm. North South Wales governor on attack in Oyo, Ekiti, Ogun, Ondo, and Kwara states. Oyo deputy governor visits communities, says security agency on top of situation. Well, it's quite a disturbing narrative on page 2, 3, and 26. And talking health, scientists reverse stroke damage using stem cells. Well, it's an interesting one on page 25. Let's see the picture of the day. The picture of the day is that of the inspection of the fertilizer plant under construction in Gode, Ethiopia over the weekend. And from the left, you can see the president of Dangote Group talking about Aliko Dangote being welcomed by the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed, all over the weekend. Well, that's what you can take on the...
APC faces revolt from trapped, disgruntled aspirants. Well, headline. Hundreds of aspirants decry imposition and deceit, but don't deceive. Banks under pressure to turn 4.65 trillion naira capital profit into real growth. It's a major one on page 2, but quite disturbing like other papers. Yoruba under siege. Afenifere raises the alarm. Naptan tax marking the security agents on speedy release of kidnapped Oyo students and teachers on page 4. Outrage persists over high parking fare of Muritala Mohammed 2 Lagos. We have no plans to reduce tariff by Kotami, says that's the administration up on page 25. But the picture of the day making the rounds right there, like every other paper, is that of the CEO, the president himself of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, and the deputy chairman of Prosperity Party, and also that of the president of Ethiopia, yesterday during the unveiling of the plant under construction.
Daily Trust this morning. And on Daily Trust, the leading story reads, APC reps primaries, irregularity claims shock the fit for incumbents. Well, it's a major one on page 3 and 4 of Daily Trust this morning. Still on the front page, 4 days after Borno, Oyo's school children still in captivity. It's quite a sad narrative on page 6. Akpabio Bureau 7 government battle for senatorial tickets today. There's a major one on page 5. And on page 9, Nigeria spent 5.43 trillion naira on petrol in first quarter. Well, let's see if we can get more of the leading story still on the front page. Well, seems to be a major one there, how terrorists killed 70 police officers and soldiers in Yobe State.
That's sad. That's
a very sad one on page 8. Well, let's see the picture of the day. The picture of the day is that of the All Progressive Congress House of Representatives primaries across states over the weekend. Well, with that, that is much we can take on Daily Trust.
Still talking politics, Vanguard is where we're going, and also